Alright, before we start, we are going to install a plugin which is called the Array Curve Plus, and this plugin will be available on one of the link below my description. So I'm going to select the first file, which is a .rhp, and I'm simply going to click and drag it into our software, just like so. And as you can see on the command line, we have loaded our plugin. So let's begin by making our ring, and I'm going to use the circle command once again. Switch to my front view, type 0 on your keyboard, press enter, and for the size of our ring, I'm going to make a ring of the size of 16.1 millimeter. Then, like usual, I'm going to select my circle that we made and simply offset this circle to a distance of 1.95, for example. And to complete the action, simply click on your canvas. Alright, the next step is importing a gems for our ring. And I'm going to select the round gem millimeter and simply drag it onto our software, just like so. So now we can resize our diamond simply by selecting our gem and hold the shift key on your keyboard and simply select one of these handle. And for the size of our gems, let's make a gems of 6 millimeter. And then we can position our gems by using the front view and using the gumball and drag it and place somewhere around here. And then I'm going to create a bridge for our gemstone, and still on our front view, I'm going to select this inner circle and I'm going to offset this circle and create a bridge of a thickness of 1.5 millimeter. Press enter and simply click on the canvas. And now once again, I'm going to insert another gem to create our halo like setting, and I'm simply going to grab our gem and drag it just like before. And then I'm going to resize this gemstone to a size of 1.3 millimeter. Alright, the next step is to create a shape for the profile of our halo setting. So for the size of our halo setting, because we have a 1.3 millimeter gem, we are going to make our setting slightly bigger, of course, and simply leave some space on the side and simply give a distance of 0.2 millimeter on each side. So this means we have to make a setting of the length of 1.7 millimeter because we have a gems that is 1.3 millimeter. So I'm going to use my command line and type line, and I'm going to select both sides. I'm going to place the middle of the line on the center of our grid. Press enter, and for the distance I'm going to input 1.7 millimeter and divide it by 2 because we are starting from the middle. Press enter. I'm going to hold shift to make a straight line, a straight horizontal line like that, and simply click on your canvas, just like so. Now I'm going to select both object and use my move command. Snap it at the edge of this line and simply come back at the top and snap it at the side of our gem, just like that. Now I'm going to move a little bit down like so, and I'm going to rotate it using our rotate command. Use the N for the center of rotation and make an horizontal angle, just like so. And then I'm going to type minus 15 to slightly position my gems and my setting at an angle, just like so. Alright, now let's continue to design our profile. I'm going to select this line and simply offset it to a distance of 1.1 millimeter, just like that, and simply click on your canvas. Alright, and now I'm going to use our polyline and close this side, and then I'm going to freestyle a little bit just to create a shape for our setting and create something like that, which is fine. And I'm going to delete this guideline, and now we can simply select all of this curve and join them together. So now we can select our profile and use the revolve command. start of the revolve axis will be 0 and simply snap to a vertical angle like so. And I'm going to input 360 on our command line and press enter, just like so. So let me switch to a ghosted mode so we can have like a better preview, and this is how it looks for the moment. So let's put this object that we made on a different layer, and let's use the red, just like that. If we want to adjust the position of our setting, we can simply use the early object, and because we have like our history enabled, we can adjust it to our need. And now the next step will be to place more of this gem all around our setting. And to do that, it is quite simple. I'm going to select my gemstone, my side gemstone, and do a polar array. Array polar, sorry. And for the center of our polar array, it will be 0. And for the number of gems for this setting, you kind of have to try like a different number, for example 14, and then simply like run the command like 360, just like that. And as you can see, it might not be enough. I think we can add a little bit more. So I'm going to undo this command and run that command again. Press enter, type 0, number of gem, I think we can do 16, just like so, and then simply like type 360, and I think it is looking fine for me, and I'm going to press enter, so we have like this type of result. Alright, the next step is to create some prongs for our main gemstone, and to do that we are simply going to use the cylinder command and place it on the center of our canvas. And for the diameter, let's make some prongs of the size of 1.1 millimeter, and then click on your canvas. So I'm simply going to move this prong into position somewhere like that, and I'm going to rotate it slightly at an angle like so, and then I'm going to use the rotate command, center of the rotation, type 0 on your keyboard, snap it on this horizontal line, and hold shift to position at a 45-degree angle, or simply type 45-degree on your keyboard and press enter, just like so. So once it is done, I'm simply going to mirror this on the side that are missing. So now we have a problem. As you can see, like our prong is overlapping with our side stone, and ideally we want the prongs to be in between like those stones. So we are simply going to select our root gem and simply rotate it around, center of rotation 0, snap it like that, and for this we're going to park somewhere on middle right here, just like so. As you can see now, it is perfectly sitting on the middle. So if we want, we can also like modify this setting, make it a little bit bigger like that if you want, or even like mess up with the control points. But for now, this is looking good. Alright, the next step will be to create like a connection for our like setting to connect to our ring. So right, to do that, we are going to take a curve and simply draw like a nice S shape that connects our setting to our ring. And if you can like see those little square on my grid, we know that one square is equal to 1 millimeter. So we are going to make our shape of the thickness of about 2 millimeter. So I'm going to snap my first point somewhere around here and simply like freestyle and create a nice curved line, just like so. I'm going to make another line and I'm going to use the smart track and simply like draw another line like that. So you can use your control point to adjust it and make something like that. Now I'm going to use my line and close those open points, just like that. I'm going to select all of those curves that I made and join them together, and we have to make sure that it is like a close curve, because we are going to revolve the curve that we made to an angle of 360 degree like usual, and yeah, create something like that. And now I'm going to first of all hide everything on top right here, and I'm going to create some holes on the object that we made, but there is a problem right here because it didn't like close all the way through. So I'm going to redone our revolve command. So to cut our object, we are simply going to create a cutter by using our line first. Select both sides. The middle of the line will be 0, and for the length of it, let's make it at 0.5 and snap it horizontally like that. And now I'm going to take my curved line, snap at the end of our curve, and simply like create a curved line like that. I'm going to mirror this on the other side and simply close the open area, just like so. Now select all of the curve that we made, join them together, and we are going to first of all rotate it to a 45-degree angle like that. Now we have made our shape, and what we are going to do, we are going to perform a wire cut command. Select the cutting curve, press enter, and then the object to cut. Then I'm going to change the direction and select the Z axis and simply perform a wire cut. Now I can go ahead and delete this part that we don't need. Now first of all, let me hide previous curve that we made. Now I'm going to select the new object that we have and simply mirror this across the missing side, just like that. So if this looks like a little bit too sharp for you, we can go ahead and simply refine those edges by using the fillet edge, and let's do a radius of 0.2. Select those edges, press enter, and same thing with the outside. So let's make it bigger, like 0.3. Press enter once again, and now we have like refined our object. Okay, now let's show everything, and this is how it looks for now. Alright, now we are going to create our ring, and the first step again is to create a little guideline by using our polyline, and I'm going to create a straight small little line like that. So now I'm going to use the blend curve command, and I'm going to select our guidelines that we just made. along with the outside rail, and I'm going to flip the second control point, and I'm going to adjust how it looks by simply dragging off those control points, and I'm going to press OK. Now I'm going to first delete these small guidelines on top, and I'm going to select this curve and mirror it across the other side. So now I'm going to select this curve and trim off this bridge on the middle, and now I'm going to join this curve together just like that. So now we can simply select this curve and offset it to a distance of our shank, which is 1.95, and press enter and click on your canvas just like so. So now we can refine our curve right here and simply like delete those control points like that, and select like the top one, and simply I'm going to taper this thing, also the second control points like this, like so, and same thing with the top one. Simply going to play around a little bit until it looks fine to me, but you don't have to follow all of my instruction. You can go ahead and play around a little bit. So now I'm going to select the outside rail and trim off like this extra rail that I don't need. Simply press enter, and then I'm going to select my line, simply close off those open area on the top of our shank, and I'm going to select all of this shape and join them together. So now we can go ahead and extrude those curves to create our ring. Simply type extrude, and let's go to our perspective view, and for the thickness you can go ahead and make like, for example, 1.8 millimeter, and this is really up to you, and this is how it looks for the moment. So now we can refine our ring by doing a fillet edge, and for the radius let's make it at 0.6. Press enter just like so, and same thing for the inside of our ring on the bridge right here, and rerun the command, but this time we are going to do a smaller radius of 0.2. Select all of those inside edge and press enter just like so. So you can also do this on the outside edge if you want, and also you can trim off like to create a nice like taper from the top, but for this video I'm not going to do it because I already show you how to do this in my previous video. Alright, now I'm going to first of all delete those curves that I don't need anymore, and the next thing I want to do is to create a channel for our side gemstones. So I'm going to switch to my front view, and I'm going to import a gem just to use it as a guide, and I'm going to resize it to match our side stone, which was set at 1.3 millimeter. And now I'm going to create some cutter so that we can like make some holes on our setting. I'm simply going to use a cylinder at first, position our cylinder on the center and make something like that. You it is fine. Switch back to my 4 view and simply create a cylinder like that. Now I'm going to play around a little bit, make an oval shape like so, and adjust the size a little bit, probably make it like smaller like that. Alright, something like this is fine. Now I'm going to make a V cutter, something like that. Mirror this across the other side. Simply close this area right here and join them together. Now we can extrude it like this. And we also need to create a hole so our gemstones can literally like sit on it. So it's easy. I'm just going to grab my curve command right here and simply make something like that. It is fine. And then simply like readjust the position of it, create something like this. And now I'm going to revolve, select this curve, press enter, 360 degree, press enter once again. So as you can see, it is an open surface. I'm simply going to cap the top of it like that to create like a closed solid poly surface, just like so. Now I'm going to move our V cutter and place it on the center. Place it at the center like that. I'm going to resize a little bit, create something like this. Now I'm going to delete this curve that I don't need anymore. I'm going to select all of these new objects that I have, except the stone. And first of all, I'm going to rotate it so it faces horizontally. And now I'm simply going to move this into position. Which is somewhere around here. We can rotate this thing to align to our setting, just like so. So the V cutter is actually on the perfect position. So we simply need to move this object along with this one and do a rotate command, type 0, snap it horizontally, and simply like place it on the middle of this gem, just like that. Now of course we can readjust like our V cutter, make it bigger, it's up to you. So this is just an example. And now we can polar array, of course. I mean array polar, sorry. Number of items 16, 360 degree, just like so. And same thing for this and this. Oh, first of all, I forgot to change to another like layer like that so we can differentiate. Same with that. And I'm simply going to array polar once again, 360 degree, boom, just like that. Now I'm going to select all of these objects that we have, and now we can do a boolean difference. Simply typing boolean difference, select the object to cut, which is our setting, and select the object, the cutter, which is those objects that we just made. Press enter. So this is how it looks. So this was just an example, of course. You can go ahead and make some refinement, especially on V-cutter. But anyway, that is the result of it. You can go ahead and save it or do whatever you want. I don't care. And if you find this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel.